So cyclists should look at a bike fitment there'll be a couple of pointers. Number one, I'd say definitely on purchasing a new bike. I think there's definitely room to improve a fit. Even if one has an existing bike, it's really tough to take the fit from an original bike over to another bike due to geometries being so different and type of bike being different. You know, you might have a mountain biker buying a gravel bike, so that entails a totally different setup, totally different fit. So that would be the one point. A newbie starting cycling, without doubt, I think it's very important to get set up correctly on a bike. It's just going to improve your whole experience of riding a bike. So, you know, do it properly from the start. It's going to limit injury risk, it's going to make you feel more comfortable on the bike and essentially lead to a much more enjoyable experience. The other point I would have to say, having a clinical background, is after an injury, and a big injury. You might have time off the bike or just a change in biomechanics, and I think it's very important to then address the way that one sits on the bike. Another element would be certainly time off the bike. So when one's taken a break for a year or two or even a few months, body compositions change, flexibility might change, and the way we sit on the bike will certainly change. So riders will come to me for many different reasons. Having a clinical background, I certainly see a hell of a lot of injuries, and that's what got me into the bike fitting, was more in the medical clinical type fit. You tend to see a lot of lower back pain, knee issues, be it saddles being too low, too high. We've got a multiple array. There's things like neck pain, you know, your general neurological pain into the arms, numbness, tingling, pins and needles, the list goes on. So bike fit, essentially, the correct bike fit improves performance. And when I say that, it can improve many different aspects of performance. Number one, we look at pure comfort on a bike, and that will go for your amateur, your weekend warrior, even your elite rider. And comfort on a bike will equal and lead to better efficiency. So if we've got someone in the correct position where they can hold the position, they can ride for longer, they can essentially put out more power and essentially, you know, be faster on the bicycle. Another thing that we'll address is CDA, or coefficient of drag, and that's when we start to consider aerodynamics. So a bike fit certainly can look at those different elements and improves one's aerodynamics. So reviewing a bike fit, I think annually, I tend to sort of prescribe an annual review for my elite athletes and competitive amateurs. Again, you know, going back to that first point where, you know, if one's had an injury or if they've been off the bike for quite a long time or if they've purchased a new bike, I think that's the right time to then address a review of a bike fit. So my approach to bike fitting is it's not one size fits all. So you know, the important thing is to understand the athlete or the client's needs and then address the bike fit around there. I use many different products, from ErgoFit to Gibiomizer's pressure mapping to Carnovia's analysis via video. But I think it's important to firstly understand what the client needs and you know, tailor the fit around that. On average, my fit's about an hour, going all the way up to 2 hours, and there's no sort of clinical mold for it. So for me, coming from a clinical background, bike fitting wasn't something I initially, you know, set out to sort of pursue as a career. And due to my patient base being a lot of endurance athletes, cyclists, triathletes, it's led me into that bike fit space, because you would have people coming in with an injury and you address the injury off the bike. One needs to then address the bike fit themselves. So I think it's multifaceted, bike fitting, but I do believe that a fitter should have a good clinical and biomechanical knowledge, besides for knowing their product pretty well.